Hello. As lots of you know, I am a Christian, and I thought you might find it interesting to hear my story about how I became a Christian. So that's what I'm going to do now. I was not brought up as a Christian, although I was christened as a baby and would occasionally attend Harvest Festival at church. I also went to the monthly church parade services as a brownie, but they never meant anything to me. I was happy growing up, although when my parents divorced, I was just starting my A levels and I found that hard and didn't resolve my feelings on that until a few years later. Once I was in my teens, I had numerous boyfriends, and it just so happened that one of these was a Christian. I was intrigued by his faith, as I'd not known anyone with a faith like that before. He invited me to a baptism service at his church, and so I went along. I found it strange how someone shook my hand on the way in. I was about 17 or 18 and didn't really come across shaking people's hands. Then I was okay while sitting in my seat and watching the service. I found that I felt really comfortable in the church building, which surprised me, and I was fascinated by the stories of the people getting baptised. They shared what God had done in their lives, and I wanted to have that in my life. Then it came to the end of the service where we went for tea and coffee and chatted to people. My boyfriend had lots of friends there, so we joined a group. The minister, their vicar, came towards us to greet us, and he clearly saw the look of terror on my face, so he said hello from a distance and walked away. I was convinced he would find out that I wasn't a Christian and would chuck me out of the church. I felt like I was an imposter and shouldn't be there. Shortly afterwards, we left as a group to go to the pub opposite. That surprised me too. What were all these Christians doing going to the pub? I generally had a great time at the church and felt a desire for more of whatever it was these people had. I was disappointed that my boyfriend didn't invite me back the following week. I, however, still didn't believe in God or anything it said in the Bible. I told my boyfriend that I felt it was all made up, so he challenged me to read the Bible and see what I thought then. He bought me one that you can read the whole thing in a year, a bit of the Old Testament, some New Testament, and Psalms and Proverbs each day. I did start reading it and still thought some of the stories were ludicrous. I was thinking about them from a human perspective, not accepting that with God all things are possible. But I persevered as I wanted to find out more. During this time, my boyfriend and I actually went our separate ways, me to Aston University and he continued his life in London. I continued to read the Bible and found that my perspective was starting to change. I was starting to think about God as though he was real. That was quite a revelation to me. I decided to chat to one of the chaplains at uni as I didn't really know where to go from here. I found that chat really helpful and he encouraged me to continue to pursue it, to try the Christian Union, to try church and continue to read the Bible. I remember one night alone in my room at uni, I was thinking about God and found that I really wanted to believe in him, but didn't feel that I could as I had no proof. Then I heard God say, "Believe it because it is true. You don't need any proof." And that was it for me. That was when my life changed, when I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Saviour and decided to become a Christian. Now, whether you believe he spoke out loud to me is neither here nor there. It may have been a thought in my head which sounded audible, I don't know. But it wasn't my thought. It was so different to what I was thinking, and I was alone at the time, so no one else said it to me. However God actually did it, it convinced me. That was probably May 2000, and I was about 19. To start with, all that changed was I made time to go to church each Sunday morning. I didn't make any changes in my lifestyle, and I didn't really realise that I could be friends with Jesus all of the time, not just on Sundays at church. After about 6 months of church attendance, I started to learn much more about the Christian life and how I could change to be more like Jesus. It enabled me to let go and move on from the hurt I'd experienced during my parents' divorce. I was able to become much more confident and not feel the need to always hide behind my current boyfriend. In fact, I spent some time single, which I hadn't done for most of my teenage years. I was desperate to learn more about God. Unfortunately, as I was at uni, I was able to spend a lot of time reading different books about my faith and doing an Alpha course. It was fantastic and definitely changed me for the better. I wanted to get baptised but didn't have a regular church that I felt I could do that in, so my baptism was delayed until after I'd finished university, when John and I were married and regularly attending Queen's Road Baptist Church. I therefore got baptised in October 2003. and have continued on my Christian journey ever since, trying to learn more of Jesus each day and share this love and hope that I have with everyone else. I hope that you found the story interesting, and if you do want to know more, then please do get in touch.